My name is Toni Hall. It's so great. It's really an honor to meet you, to be honest.
Wow, honor. Thank you.
Honor.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. How is everything? How's your family? It's so much going on. How is everything going?
We're making it like everybody else, controlling the controllable, and just we can't really worry about too many other things right now. Just controlling what we can,
Yeah.
but everybody's good. We're in good health, so
Good. You're good mentally. Everyone's good
uh,
mentally.
for the most part, these times are indifferent for all of us. So we're just trying to figure it out day by day.
Yeah. No, I completely understand. Same over here. Um, it's so much. Like I told you, I'm a student at USC,
Mhm.
and it's been different. It's been really different. Just the culture shock in itself has been different. I'm a alumni of Prairie View A&M University, and so now I go to USC. And so the culture shock has been different, and just the learning curriculum has been different, and all of that. But I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time out to do
Oh,
this interview. Your opinion really matters. Like I told you, after I watched that interview you did with Jonathan, I was like, yeah, I got to interview him. I got to sit down and talk to him because I just feel like your opinion, your stance on just life in general is really important. I feel like there's not enough of you in this world, if that makes sense.
that means a lot. That
Yeah,
means a lot. I appreciate that.
no problem. So I just want to start off with, at what age were you first exposed to sports?
Out the womb,
Oh, really?
out the womb. I share this story with a lot of people all the time. When I was younger, like before school age, I didn't go to daycares in the summertime. I was always at summer workouts with dad, and I would always bump my head on the weight bars in the weight room. They made me walk around and wear a helmet like I was a special kid or something. But I've been around the game my whole life. So yeah.
Yeah. So, being a coach's kid, what do you think is the most important lesson you have learned? Because it's kind of like you're, I don't want to say you're different because your dad's the coach, but it is different in a way, you know? I feel like you're almost held to a higher standard. So, in what ways being a coach's kid like was the most impactful thing in your life?
Uh, Believe it or not, seeing the impact that my dad had on the ones that came before me, uh, that was something that played a really, really big role in my upbringing and ultimately me wanting to play for him because I would always, when I was younger, like elementary, elementary school, yeah, I want to go play for my dad. I want to go play for my dad. But my dad never worked in the area that we lived in. So I was going to school in our area and
Yeah.
I got really tight with my friends and I didn't want to leave, but it was just something tugging on me. I would see how his former athletes would come back and visit him and how appreciative they were of him and the time that he invested into them. And that was something that, I wanted to experience for myself. So, yeah, definitely the impact and the relationships that he built with the people that came before me and the ones that are coming after me, you
Yeah.
know, that's what drove me to, or that had the greatest impact on me being a coach's kid, definitely.
So, do you think now that you're a coach and you're a teacher yourself, those lessons that he installed into you, how are you going about being that, the next generation of inspiration? Like how are you going by inspiring the next generation?
Well, obviously, he's a great influence on me. Um, I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for him. But in that same breath, all the while I am following his footsteps, I kind of want to do it my own way. So, this is a different era. These are different times. Kids are different than they were when I was in school and when kids were in school before me. You know what I'm saying? So just finding ways to be able to relate to the children and keep them engaged with whatever it is that we have going on, whatever message it is we're trying to convey unto them. You know, that's my biggest goal. I tell them all the time how sports, is a tool to get to where you're trying to go. Uh, and I just try and keep it real with them, uh, build that relationship with them so that they can actually buy into what it is I'm trying to communicate to them. Because I mean, in all actuality, and this is a fact. Not everybody's going to college to play a sport. Not everybody's going to play professionally. I had dreams of playing after college, but it didn't happen. So just those honest talks, uh, keeping it real with them, and
Yeah.
things of that nature, definitely. But finding ways to relate to the kids, whether it be social media. Social media is something that's really really big now that didn't really play a role for us when we were in school. You know what I'm saying? So that's definitely a avenue where I can connect with my kids uh, in comparison to the ways that my dad built relationships with kids in the era before us. So just finding ways to do it my way,
Yeah.
uh, and keep them engaged.
Yeah. So first off, that was amazing. But due to like coronavirus, how are you finding ways to still keep it fresh, and bring that whole mentality of like you guys can make it type? Because I mean, we're all online. Like I'm sitting here talking to you over a laptop. So it kind of feels like there's a a disconnection in a way. So how do you know, go by, I guess, like keeping it fresh due to this whole new age of going to school online and stuff?
So is this for athletes in specific, or is this for all of our students?
We can talk all students,
Well,
and then we'll go athletes.
all students is difficult because we all long for the face-to-face interactions.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really hard to stay engaged uh, virtually. That's not something that we prefer. Um,
No, you're fine. I thought it was me.
somebody FaceTime me on my laptop, but she made me lose my train of thought. Goodness. Um,
You
but yeah,
said,
it's very very hard to stay engaged virtually. So like I was saying with the athletes, we just find ways to connect with them. Crack jokes. Uh, not not always. I mean, it's obviously a professional setting because it's the classroom, but find ways to have fun. Ask questions aside from the class topics, just to get that good energy going and to get the guys locked in and focused.
yeah,
Uh, because some teachers don't do that. Some teachers are just gonna lecture you. They just gonna hope that you get the information so that you can do what you have to do as a student. But not everybody is receptive to that method.
yeah,
So you gotta be flexible and find ways to reach everyone.
right. Wow, wow. So being a college athlete, going through the motions, have you ever dealt with adversity in any point in your life? And if so, how did you overcome that?
No doubt. Growing up, I've always had to have been a fighter when it comes to the sport that I love, whether it was baseball, whether it was football. I wasn't always as physically gifted as everyone around me early on. So I always had that underdog mentality, and me being a coach's kid, naturally my mentality was already kind of different. It was ingrained in me to just go harder and harder. And that's what ultimately gave me my edge as I continued to progress.
Yeah.
Uh, Early on in high school, I struggled. Uh, Towards the later end of my career, we made a lot of noise, and it gave me an opportunity to go further my football career and my education. But I ended up having to go to a junior college because I played quarterback and I wasn't the biggest in stature. So a lot of guys were thinking that it was a gamble if they were taking a risk on me. So, you know, with the mentality that was ingrained and instilled in me before, I just took that on forward, and it kind of carried me through. All in all, I ended up being offered a full ride scholarship to continue the second half of my college career, and I finished up at Texas Southern. And yeah, I'm here now with a degree, and I'm debt free, and
Yes.
it's given me the opportunity to do what my passion is, and that's connect with kids ultimately.
Yeah. Wow. Powerful. Powerful. Yes. That's I completely understand where you're coming from on that
Right.
part, being the underdog. Like I grew up with this disability called dyslexia. So reading and writing was a fear of mine. Even pursuing journalism was a fear because I just thought I would fail. And I mean, it was only God Himself that told me you can do it, basically, because I felt like being the underdog, there was no room for me to be there. So I completely understand. Because when all odds are against you, it's like you have to persevere.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just a mindset. I mean, not everybody has that mindset like you to, you know, I either way, I'm gonna get it by any means necessary.
Right.
And I think that's very powerful. And I think that's why you are so inspirational to the people. Like I can just tell you are very inspirational to your students, and you make an impact in their lives. And plus I see you on Twitter, and I see just the way your students interact with you in a way that not many people would do, like I feel like you're so open
Right.
with who you are. It's like you don't mind talking about your struggles and the things you endured. So I feel like because of that, you're gonna go so far. You feel me?
Yeah, I
You're
appreciate
gonna
that.
excel, you know? Um, but I kind of wanted to drift the subject and get more into your athletes and what you see in them. So I know a lot of I'm gonna just say African American athletes. They come from situations that are not really the best for them, And I kind of just want you to talk about what do you see in those athletes who want to pursue like a higher education, going to college, trying to play college ball, or just a better life period. What do you personally see with your own eyes through
From
those students?
from a athletic standpoint, hunger.
Yeah.
Uh, those guys usually have a chip on their shoulder when it comes to coming out and going to work every day. Um, they have that mentality, like we said, ingrained in them. A lot of times with them, it's the schooling aspect where we have to, enforce or reinforce the idea in their mind that the books come before ball, and it doesn't work that way. But it's definitely a hunger there, and not all of the athletes are like that when it comes to the schooling. It's important to some of them. Some of them coming up, it was something that wasn't just really focused on or placed under a microscope in their household. So uh, just finding ways to, like I say, relate to them, making it important for them, being real with them, and letting them know the opportunities that they have before them, if they can take care of their business. Uh, that's I always tell them they get caught up in, life. I work in a district called Channelview. The world is bigger than Channelview. Your life is bigger than Channelview, and if you take care of your business now, early on with school, you're definitely going to take care of your business with ball. So if you can prioritize and take care of the things that are deemed important, you can reap the benefits of those later, later on down the line. You reap the benefits from all of those things.
Yeah. So do you think faith plays a part in going for something that's bigger than what, your community, your family can see?
For sure. Faith is a really big deal. Spiritually speaking, and then also, in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, what are you doing it for? You're just out there, just existing.
Yeah.
And faith is what ultimately gives you your purpose.
Yeah. Wow. That's deep. That's deep. That's real deep. Because not a lot of people understand that. They just think, when they hit a roadblock, that's it, And I'm a pretty spiritual person myself. And I just know faith is what I feel like it's a driving factor in my entire life. I wouldn't even be sitting here talking to you if it wasn't for faith, just believing that God He's got everything worked out, regardless of what is going on during these current unprecedented times. He's always got a plan, regardless of what is going on. What is your message to your athletes, either football or baseball? What is your overall message you want them to take from them when they graduate from Channelview High School?
Ooh, you put me on the spot. My overall message. Well, I'm trying to gather my thoughts with this. My overall message, well, for me, it's my goal to ultimately, and this is not just sports, like we say, this is all students. I want to shape, wholesome young adults, people who are going to, head households. They're going to start families. Uh, they're going to have jobs, careers, uh, all types of things of that nature. And I want them to understand, the importance of school, the importance of education, uh, just the importance of sharpening your mind. And yeah, man, because if you don't get that early on, and I guess that is a recurring thing with my students. If you don't get that early on, it's really, really hard when you hit your early 20s, mid 20s. And not to say that that is the stake in the road where you've reached maturity. Some people mature at different rates than others. And like I said, age doesn't determine whether you're grown or not. It's just a mentality. And if you have that understanding early on, it's a lot easier later on down the line to get things figured out. I mean, I'm here I am 26 years old, and I don't have all the answers. I don't, but because of the faith that you spoke of, and just because of the, the will and the want to be able to succeed, I strive for it, and I make those things important. So definitely having that understanding early on about you know prioritizing what truly is important rather than something that's satisfying in the time that's not going to do you any good later on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I feel you. Man, see, this is what I'm talking about. I know you got it in you. Like, you got it in you. Last question. And I wanted to focus this more on you. Tell me, when you leave this earth, what do you want your legacy to be?
Difference maker. Um, I'm a very selfless person. I've always been about other people, making a difference. Uh, yeah, I want to be remembered as somebody who made a difference, somebody who cared, and somebody that left a lasting legacy, uh, and also create people who are willing to help other people. You know, that's infectious, and it's not something that I have to do, but it's something that I'm very passionate about. So I go hard behind it. So yeah, when I take my last breath, I want everybody to be able to say, yeah, man, he cared about the kids and he made a difference. Coach Hurts made a difference in my life. And yeah, that's what I'm about.
Yes. And you will. I can see it. I can see it on you. It's like a glow about you. Like, I can see it. You really, it's just the beginning for you, for real.
It's much appreciated.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time out to talk to me. This was extremely eye-opening. It really was. And just to get to know you a little bit better and just your opinion about my topic, I can definitely tell I can spin some things out of this for sure.
Well, I'm glad that I could help. I'm glad that I could be a part of what you have going. Um, Now we got a connection.
I
Uh,
know.
it's all that's what life is about as well. You know, meeting people, touching ideas, and you know, greatness can come out of things like that. So I
Yeah. Yeah.
appreciate your time as well.
Thank you. Yeah, I love intellectual conversations. Those conversations that make you like really think like, huh, like no materialistic items here. Like this is just me telling you who I am. And like I said, you're destined for greatness.
Cool, man. Like I said, I appreciate your time. Love what you're doing. Just keep blazing your trail, and you'll end up where you're supposed to end up.
Thank you so much.